Earlier this year, Fujifilm released a new, sleek and compact large format camera with an incredible 102 megapixel sensor. Well, today I'm pleased to say that they have announced a new camera to the GFX lineup, along with a new kit lens, which are both tailored towards an enthusiast level of medium format photography. I'm Pete from London Camera Exchange, and for a few days I've been lucky enough to get my hands on this, the brand new GFX50S Mark II. Now straight away you might be saying, hold up, isn't that the GFX100S that you're holding? And to be fair, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong in thinking so, as the 50S Mark II actually borrows the same body as the 100S, but tweaks the features, giving a lower priced large format camera that current users can easily navigate around. Weighing in at around 900 grams, this reasonably small and lightweight camera houses a 51.4 megapixel medium format size sensor that's also partnered up with Fujifilm's latest X processor 4. Taking that larger sensor with less megapixels than the 100S, you are left with physically bigger pixels that are roughly 2 times the size of high-res full-frame cameras that are currently on the market. And when paired with that latest X processor 4, we find the resulting images contain less noise when shooting in low light. We also have a fantastic 14 stops of dynamic range, which really allows you to push the GFX on sunny and contrasting days, where you might want to bring back some of those shadows and highlights. As previously mentioned, the body is the same as the GFX100S, giving you a nice deep grip that feels very secure in your hands. My thumb wrapping around underneath the Q menu button leaves me feeling like the 50S Mark II wouldn't ever slip while in use. Handling and navigation is super simple and a real improvement over that Mark I version. Easy to control lockable mode dials with 6 custom selection settings, an 8 directional lever joystick, along with a dedicated movie and still switch, all help to make quick changes to your settings. There is no longer a removable EVF, and the 50S Mark II uses the same 3.69 million dot viewfinder found on the 100S, along with both the same 3.2-inch tilting touch LCD monitor and customizable top LCD panel. Fujifilm have said that this is primarily designed for users looking to shoot both landscape and portrait styles of photography. And this becomes a little bit more apparent when we find that there's a slightly slower frames per second when in continuous burst shooting mode. The 50S Mark II also lacks that hybrid phase detection focusing seen inside the 100S. But with that being said, the contrast AF was quick and responsive whilst performing, and that was when it was coupled with the brand new GF 35-70mm lens. Speaking of lenses, the GF series of glass aren't always the smallest or lightest items to pop on the front of your camera. However, this new GF 35-70mm f4.5 to 5.6 actually collapses down to just under 85mm and weighs in at 440 grams. This new kit lens has a silent and fast AF system with a low focus breathing, making it ideal for those quieter shoots or video recordings. It does lack that manual aperture ring, but this is a super versatile range, which is equivalent to 28 to 55mm when compared to a 35mm sensor. Now primarily you would want to use a medium format camera or something of this resolution on a tripod or a stable surface, but thanks to Fujifilm's in-body image stabilization, handheld shooting is possible. Capable of compensating up to 6.5 stops of stabilisation, the GFX50S Mark II is actually half a stop better than the 100S. This is across all the lenses other than when using the GF 250mm or the 100-200, where they both match at 5.5 stops. With the camera being reasonably compact, the in-body image stabilisation comes into its own if you like to shoot anything like travel or street photography, where you may not have the room for a tripod. We of course find Fujifilm's famous film simulations, available for both stills and video, and we now have that nostalgic neg and also the Eterna bleach bypass. One thing I really like is the option in the drive menu to select film simulation bracketing, where you can select your 3 favourite styles and automatically cycle through them one after another. With a click of the switch, you're into movie mode, where you will find a dedicated video menu taking priority when you select your options. Now, although the 50S Mark II only shoots up to Full HD at 30p, which many videographers might see as a disappointment due to the lack of no 4K resolution, but with such a large sensor, you are left with a cinematic style footage that can be graded in post or by using those built-in film simulations. If you're looking to shoot at a higher resolution than that 50 megapixel sensor can offer, you can switch across into Fujifilm's pixel shift mode, which utilises that in-body image stabilisation. When attached to the tripod, it will move the sensor around in small increments, taking up to 16 images, and afterwards you can process it through Fuji's software and create one overall shot, which is approximately 4 times the resolution. With the images being processed out of camera, you can't look back at your monitor in the field to see the end result. You can, however, look at the 16 separate images to check them, but much like other brands of camera, you have to wait until you're home at your computer to get that final image. I shot a handful of images in this mode, and the end results really speak for themselves with the clarity and detail. Powering the 50S Mark II is the same NP-W23 battery found inside both of the GFX100S and the X-T4. This is capable of capturing up to 440 images on a single charge. The change to this battery allows the Mark II to have a thinner body than the original, thanks to the battery being stored inside of the grip. For a camera that's lightweight, compact and rather reminiscent to that of a full-frame SLR, you certainly gain many features and advantages, not only from that large sensor, but also Fujifilm's stunning colours and film simulation. If you're looking for a high-res camera for both portrait and landscape, or you're possibly already a GFX100S user looking for that second body, the GFX50S Mark II is definitely worth putting on your list. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe, ring that bell to get notifications of all our latest content, and if you'd like any more information, check out the link below or pop into your local London Camera Exchange.